Hey y'all, it's Io here from Noodle Nook, and I help teachers survive and thrive in special ed. Today I'm coming at you with 7 interview questions so that you can prep for your SPED teacher interview. I've also got 7 things you should never say in a teacher interview. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, y'all, for those of you who haven't been to the channel before, there's a couple other videos that will help you prep for your next teacher interview, so make sure you check those out. So, as we get started, I'm going to ask you 7 interview questions. I suggest that you pause after each question and go ahead and give it your best shot to answer right out of the gate. At the end of the 7 questions, I'm going to go back to each question and recap some things that you might want to include and things you definitely don't want to say. Once you're all done, I actually suggest that you go back and re-watch this video and go through those 7 questions again once you've had a second to recap, gather your thoughts, and try out some of the pointers that I offered. Now, don't skip the step of going through the questions cold at least one time. That way you can have to think on your feet and practice some responses, get some things out, some jitters out that you don't want to actually do while you're in a teacher interview. So practice them cold at least one time, and then formulate the response that you want to have top of mind when you sit down in your teacher interview. All right, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started with these questions. Ready? Please share with us some information about your educational background. What do you see as a teacher's most important responsibility? Describe an ideal classroom to us, and what are some reliable classroom indicators? How would you grade your own teaching on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being outstanding, and why? Teaching is a team effort. What do you bring to the team? Describe a time when you had to discipline a student. How did you handle it? So, why should we hire you? Okay, how did you do? Drop a comment below and let me know which question you thought was the hardest. If you didn't feel confident, definitely keep watching. We're going to go over all 7 questions and talk about some things you want to say and some things you want to avoid saying. Okay, so let's break that down. Please share with us some information about your educational background.
So I went to undergrad and got my degree and decided I wanted to start teaching and started to do the teaching, and I really love it. Like, I love teaching, so.
Oh my goodness, please don't answer like that. So a question like tell us about your educational background comes up in the beginning of an interview, and you want to highlight what is on your resume, but you also want to talk about what isn't on your resume. Remember, this first question is about getting a good sense of you as a person. This is how you're going to make your first impression. So mention your community involvement, any initiatives that you've taken a part of in the community or in schools you've worked with prior, and if this is your first teaching job, mention your academic school highlights. This is really a good opportunity to make that good first impression, and remember, be confident, maintain good eye contact, and let your personality come through. What do you see as a teacher's most important responsibility?
Yeah, totally don't lose any kids, right?
While you want your personality to come through, now's not the time to make jokes. Talking about a teacher's important responsibilities is a time to talk about meeting a student where they're at and moving them forward. You want to talk about considering a student outcomes and transition plans, especially if you're working with older students who are getting ready for 18+ programming. And you also want to talk about meeting the needs of the whole child, emotional, physical, social, and academic. Plus, you want to talk about creating a safe and welcoming environment for the students so they can meet their potential. Obviously, the most important job is to meet the campus documentation and data obligations too, so you can mention that as well. Let me take a second right now to remind you to subscribe and hit that bell so that you don't miss any new videos from Noodle Nook, because you are going to nail this teacher interview, and those videos will help you with tips, tricks, tools, and strategies so that you survive and thrive in special ed. Describe an ideal classroom to us, and what are some reliable classroom indicators?
So an ideal classroom is full of lots of learning, and so when you look and see what's going on, you see a teacher doing some good instruction and the kids are learning stuff.
I am not going to lie, I would have crapped my pants if in an interview they'd asked me what indicates good teaching. That's a tough question. So you may want to talk about clear classroom management as seen by routine and procedures, especially if that's a standout for you. You may also want to say that you look for positive classroom climate as seen by positive interactions between students and staff. You may also want to say that you look for rigor in lessons with high engagement through small group instructions and/or centers. Again, that will depend on your instructional approach. And you may also want to say that you see a cohesive teaching team, as seen by teachers and staff supporting each other and being in sync. How would you grade your own teaching on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being outstanding, and why?
Yeah, no, a total 5. Like, you come into my room and you're going to see some amazing stuff.
Nobody wants to hear you're a 5. Really? A 5? How do you rate your own teaching? I say go in with a solid 4, maybe a 4.5, because there's always room to grow and improve. And you want this admin team to think that you're open to opportunities to collaborate and learn new things for your classroom. So don't come in and say you're a 5. You also want to talk about how you already will see really good quality first-time instruction in your classroom, that you have a clear classroom management, that you have effective behavior systems and collaboration of the adults, and differentiated instruction. And coming into your classroom, they're going to see these things. Teaching is a team effort. What do you bring to the team?
You know, I'm a total team player. I'm really I get along with everybody, so it's never a problem. And I bring that to the team, just like camaraderie.
When I watch these bad answers, it's so painful, but I've seen people answer poorly, especially to the question of what you bring to the team. In this question, it's not about being a team player. It's what assets do you bring to the team that's going to improve it. You want to highlight your educator assets, the things that make you an excellent and standout educator. Here's your opportunity to highlight those, as well as your positive energy and your can-do attitude, so that you can show that you'll be a great addition to the team. Also mention how you keep open lines of communication and use that to build a close, collaborative team. Describe a time when you had to discipline a student. How did you handle it?
Yeah, totally. You know, when kids get out of line, I feel like that's a really good time to write up an incident referral and get that kid to the office so that their parents can be included in the process, because we want to make sure that parents are on board and, you know, that they are behind us and we're all working together.
No, 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 painfully expressed, no. How do you handle discipline? Not by writing an incident referral. That's the last thing you want to say. You want to say you use proactive strategies in the classroom to prevent behaviors from happening in the first place. And when behaviors do happen, you use positive behavior strategies to foster the positive behaviors in your classroom and keep a good climate in the classroom. When discipline is needed, it's about what the child needs and their behavior plan, not writing up an incident referral. And you want to be consistent and show that you work to build these good relationships. And here's a great opportunity to tell a story. So, why should we hire you?
Yeah, you should hire me because I am just going to be an asset to your team. I am completely what you've been looking for. Like, I bring some really good expertise to your team.
I'm telling you, all these bad answers were inspired by actual bad interviews. This is a question you see towards the end, and you want to be specific. You want to talk about what you are going to bring to the team and why that's an asset for the campus. You also want to let the admins know who are sitting in the interview what they can expect from you. What kind of performance are you going to put forward? What kind of person are you going to be on the team? And you also can mention how hiring you can benefit the students, what kind of successes you've seen in the past, and what kind of expectations you have for students, especially those with disabilities. And then here's a great opportunity to highlight anything that's gone unsaid so far in your interview. Did you find this video useful? I certainly hope so. I hope it will help you to score your next teacher job. If it helped, hit that like button. And don't forget, teaching is hard, and getting a teaching job can be even harder. But you know what? You've got this. All right, y'all, this is Io here with Noodle Nook, reminding you to stay strong and teach on. We'll see you next time.